So, it's time to review Captain America Civil War. This movie stars Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Sebastian Stan, is directed by Joe and Anthony Russo. This was my, and probably a lot of other people's, most anticipated movie of the year. So did it reach my super high expectations? Yeah, pretty much. Although there is something pretty big I need to talk about after I give my rating for the film. Okay, time to talk about the movie. First, I'll talk about the new characters, Spider-Man and Black Panther. Spidey was pretty spectacular in this. Tom Holland was great as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Some critics saying he's the best version of Spider-Man ever, and I can't say I agree or disagree with them. I mean, I don't really know, honestly. I think I'll decide when I see Spider-Man Homecoming. As for Black Panther, his character was really good, but I couldn't help but feel he was underdeveloped. Hopefully we'll understand his character more in his actual movie. Still, Black Panther was pretty awesome and was in some really good action scenes. Speaking of, some of the action in this was phenomenal. A lot of critics are also saying that the airport scene is the best scene in any Marvel movie yet, and they couldn't be more right. I won't talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil it. The other action scene's pretty good, but there's some quick cuts and shaky cam in it, and it can get pretty distracting. You can still tell what's going on, but it got in the way sometimes. Also, every now and then there was some pretty bad to mediocre CGI. It didn't distract from the action, but was sort of noticeable at times. Also, the start of the film was a bit slow. There wasn't much action and instead people talking, but there's plenty of comedy so it doesn't get boring. Vision actually had a lot of comedy. He just tries to fit in, but since he has every power ever, it becomes instant comedy. The film does get dark at the end though, so it does switch tones sometimes. Also, it didn't set up any other movies. Thank you, Marvel. You kept your distance and let the Russo brothers do their thing. Without spoiling the movie, that's basically all I can say. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. You still here? Okay, fine. Time to talk about spoilers. I'll start off with the villain Baron Zemo. He was actually alright. He's not the best villain, but his backstory was pretty interesting. It got a new perspective on the Avengers films. Now that we know that, the Avengers actually do cause damage and kill people sometimes. And now that I'm in spoiler territory, I think I'll go more in depth with the airport fight scene. Yeah, I told you it was pretty damn awesome. Especially when you saw Giant Man. It was just amazing. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, Giant Man was ripping apart an aeroplane and using it as a weapon, and it looked something like you'd see in an actual comic book. And yeah, I do have one final complaint with the movie. It didn't take the risk that I thought it would. In the comics, in case you don't know, Captain America dies in the Civil War storyline. So, I was expecting that to play out in the film, and it didn't. This is probably because of studio interference, or maybe the Russo brothers have another Captain America movie planned. I don't know, but I would have liked it better if they took the risk and killed off Captain America. It would have been emotional and gripping, and fit into this movie that is dark for the most part, actually.